everybody. This is Alan Fine, and I'm here with Kelvin Murray, the Director of Expedition Operations for HX Expeditions, which you know grew out of Hurtigruten, and they are now specializing in polar and remote exploration. One of the big news here is that Kelvin is brand new to HX, and we're going to talk to him about what his visions are for the company. Kelvin, first of all, thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Alan. Thanks for inviting me.
And so you've led expeditions on nearly every continent. What made you say yes to joining HX at this moment in your career?
Well, throughout my career, HX or Hurtigruten in a previous form, um, we always used to sort of follow each other around. You know, the ships would all be operating in the Antarctic and the Arctic, and I'd seen them around. So, you know, there's this incredible legacy of Hurtigruten that's now evolved to HX. And you have this really well established company. I mean, the most established company, 130 years of exploration. And now as they move into this new phase, uh, I just think they're a really exciting crowd to work with. I'm particularly drawn to their commitment, a serious commitment to science, to their education program, and to sustainable exploration. So yeah, it's a very forward-thinking company. It's nice to be part of it.
Wow. And you brought it up, yes, 130 years of expedition history. What excites you most about shaping its next chapter?
I think when you look at the industry overall, there are a lot of vessels out there, but I think the HX vessels are really a really great combination of luxury, but also great expedition tools. And the science centers that we have on board the vessels are second to none. We provide really great facilities and a really great educational aspect. And we're conducting real science. It's not any kind of like token gesture. So we're working with world-class leading scientists from all over the world in lots of different disciplines. So that's a really exciting, interesting element. Um, and combined with the different activities that are on offer, kayaking, camping, snowshoeing, hiking, and the Zodiac cruising, landings ashore, and so on. It's a really interesting package for people to for an interesting way for people to see all these different locations.
But it sounds like you're excited about the science and you're excited about the scientists. You're going to have some pals maybe that they'll come and do some research on the ship with you.
Some friends, some pals, do you say?
Some pals
Yeah.
who are scientists, who you want to work with, and have the you now have the tools to say, hey, come share.
For sure, I've already started that. I've throughout my career, I've worked on a number of different scientific projects, and um, I've worked with some very good people doing interesting work, and I'm now bringing them to HX as well. So
Now,
yeah.
so getting a little bit into your history, you've guided guests through the Northwest Passage. You've had a live 4K Antarctic broadcast. You've led deep sea dives. These are varied experiences. How do they inform? How do they help you shape design and set up these new expeditions that you're planning? How does that all play into what you're going to do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Um, eh, Throughout my career, what I have done is I have taken things that can seem relatively complex and I've made them happen in the world's most wild and remote regions. So whether it's been taking the largest passenger vessel to date through the Northwest Passage, uh, or if it's been conducting deep ocean trench dives, like you say, the broadcast in Antarctica in 4K live 4K broadcast. Um, all sorts of operations. So, yeah, it's about making things happen in weird and wonderful places.
So this is so don't forget we're going out to travel advisors. So they can start telling their clients that as a guest on HX, they can expect the unexpected because of you.
Yeah, I mean, I am an explorer at heart, and the this company has proper explorer credentials, and the reason why we named our ships the way we did, the Amundsen, Nansen, and so on. It is true exploration, and the ships are extremely capable, and they're able to get to places. But it's not so much just about the ships and what they are able to do. It's the people on board, and the teams that we have on board, whether it's on the bridge or whether it's the expedition teams that are taking people ashore. They're all driven by this curious nature. What's out there? Where can we go? What can we do? That kind of thing. And it's nice to go to these places and feel you can meet that curious explorer spirit in yourself.
Now, there's more than one ship, there's a fleet. How are you
Mhm.
going to elevate the guest experience across the whole fleet? How are you going to maintain that? What are your thoughts?
Well, the fleet have different capabilities. So the two larger ships are the Amundsen and the Nansen, and they offer a different experience to the smaller ships, the Fram and the Spitsbergen. Um, with the larger ships, you do have more facilities on board. So there are larger spas, there are larger pool areas, more space out on open decks, and so on. We have three restaurants and that kind of thing. So and being on board the ships is very interesting because it's even though they are larger capacity than other expedition cruise vessels, you don't feel as if there's a lot of people on board. There's enough space, there's enough to do, there's enough activities going on in different areas and different corners that people could still have quite an intimate experience on board. And not feeling that they're running with a big crowd. So it's nice to have that aspect. But then with the smaller vessels, they are more of the traditional expedition cruise vessel types, slightly smaller vessels, and there's a bit of I want to say a grittier feel to them. They're not as new as the Amundsen and the Nansen, but
Right.
they've still got very nice facilities on board, and they've got their Explorer credentials themselves.
But obviously, you have to plan. You can't plan the same thing across the fleet. You have to think about the strengths and the weaknesses of the ship and plan accordingly. It's not an easy task, but that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, for example, yeah, with the larger ships, it's going to be a case of we will book into an area in the Antarctic, for example, for the day, and that will give us the time to conduct multiple different activities, and we'll have the capacity to run multiple activities at the same time. So while some people are going ashore for a landing near a penguin rookery. Others could be out kayaking. Others could be out doing a more advanced kayaking episode. Others could be out in the science boat. Others could be on board listening to a lecture. Others could be on board having, a spa treatment, that kind of thing. So there's plenty to do to diversify someone's day. With the smaller ships, obviously, you have fewer people to respond to and cater for throughout the day. So um, you can be a little bit more mobile and dynamic with your planning then. But with the larger ships, it's a proven track record of being able to park in a day and use the ship as kind of like a base camp for launching all our various other activities.
What I'm hearing is that travel advisors really need to understand the product so they get the right guest on the right ship for the right expedition. And so, where should they go for that information?
I think first of all, the website is a good port to call, travelhx.com. It gives a good overview of the four different ships. Or, well, we've got a fifth ship as well. Of course, we've got the Santa Cruz 2, which operates out of Galapagos, but she's there permanently. Um, and then you can get a better understanding, a better feel for the four different ships, and then understand the itineraries, understand the different activities, and so on. But the culture and the philosophy across all five ships is the same.
I kind of want to dive back in. That's usually a wrap-up question, but I felt like at that we were at the point in the conversation where we're talking about the different ships, and we should point out to the travel advisors they should start figuring out who goes on what. But let's go back. I wanted to ask you about cruising is growing. Uh, Expedition cruising is growing fast. There's a lot of competition. I'm hearing some of the things that make HX special, but let's go over that some more.
Mhm. Um, I think I think as you noted, there are the exhibition industry has grown quite a lot over the years, and there are a lot of different ships out there. I think what sets HX apart and what has been attracted to me is there is a really, really good balance between, the comfort that you have on board, and you're traveling in comfort, and with uh, you know I'll have to say really, really pretty ships. I really, really like
Even the smaller
the
ships.
the smaller ships as well. Yeah, yeah, the smaller ships. Um, you have this, I think, really, really nice, clean cut Scandinavian design. It's got a really sort of modern, contemporary feel to it. But then it's this combination of luxury and comfort, but then also our, sustainable activities. We're the first hybrid powered ships with the Roald Amundsen and the Fridtjof Nansen. We have been the first company to exclude heavy fuel oil from our operations. We've got strong policies on single-use plastics. So there's a big drive, and a committed drive to having sustainable operations in these pristine areas. So that's a big differentiator. And then, as I mentioned before, the science and education part of it is a really, really substantial part, and we put a lot of effort into having the right teams on board, the right lecturers and professionals, the scientific aspect as well, which of course the guests can all participate in. It's really fascinating sitting back, as an observer going on as I do, and seeing our teams interact with the guests. The questions that are taking place while they're peering through a microscope, looking at the plankton that they trawled earlier on the day, all portrayed up on the big screen. It's really, really nice to see people getting that sort of level of immersion into the location.
Here's a question I'm dying to ask is that you've done so much, and in this role, is there something you're planning that is a bucket list thing for you because you now have this relationship with HX? Is there something that you're going to try to get to do that you really want to do that you couldn't do otherwise?
Uh, that's a really, really interesting question because I haven't really thought about myself
Well, you got
in
to
all
do
this.
that. That's
Yeah,
you've got this toy to play with.
yeah, I do. I do. I am looking forward to going back through the Northwest Passage. I've done a lot of work in Canadian operations over the years, but a lot of it has been centered around Nunavut in the eastern region. I've also got some ideas about potential for taking the ships further north, or for going on less less well sailed paths.
Well, and your
Um,
ships are icebreakers. I mean, they can handle almost anything, right?
Yeah, yeah, they are all ice class, and yeah, very, very capable, gutsy ships, So yeah, but like I say, it's also the capability of the people at the wheel. You need a good bus driver.
Yep, yep. Well, so that answers that question. So I hope you get to do that. That would be great. Anyway, I want to thank you for talking to us. Again, I want the travel advisors to really think about their guests who want to do, remote expeditions. HX is the one to go to, especially with the sustainability part. If they're interested in
Mm,
making sure that when they do it, it's safe for the planet. You guys are you guys are tops. Is there anything else you want to
thank
say
you.
to our travel advisors? Again, we got to about 128,000 every day.
Yeah, we just look forward to welcoming you on board at some point. I mean, our guest experience and the marketing teams are often in touch with agents and giving them the opportunity to come on board and visit the ships and have a look around and get the real feel for themselves. So do please connect with our regional representatives. We'd be more than happy to talk to you.
And so that's www.travelhx.com. Kelvin, thank
That's
you for
correct.
talking.
Yeah, my pleasure, Alan. Nice to talk to you.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.